Hello, everyone. What a beautiful, beautiful time of the year it is. Not only because it's holidays and we get some time off and we have the opportunity to spend it with our loved ones or spend it in quiet and contemplation time. I think it's beautiful because we live in such a developed, interconnected, bountiful world. And for the first time in human history, we have the opportunity to be connected with people from Canada to Australia, all over the world. We feel part of the same village. Marshall McLuhan, who is one of my favorite scholars, particularly for his contribution to the media studies, and if you haven't heard of him, I highly recommend just familiarizing yourself with some of his work, particularly Medium is the Message, Understanding Media. He said that we will reach a point of the global village, and that's what he got kind of coined with, but he also said the global theater. And as the year is coming to an end, I have taken some time for reflection and creative development, and I wanted to share not only my experience, but share with you what I've done for 20 years and share with you my scholarly background, because we don't realize, but all of this scrolling on social media, all of this constant touching of the phone and checking the notification, they have been designed and engineered to keep our attention constantly on the device. And I find that the holidays is a perfect opportunity to start practicing not to be on the device. And I know a lot of wishes, a lot of things will start coming, and your phone will constantly be buzzing. But the holiday spirit is not about that. The holiday spirit is about reflecting about the sacredness of our connections, about even our souls. And as I've been sitting in this contemplation moment, I've realized how much of our time is connected to technology. And it's beautiful because it provides opportunities to work from home, it provides opportunities to be in touch with families overseas, but this is just a small portion of it. The rest is focused around consumption, it's focused around modifying our behaviors and reading our minds in a way. Every bit of information that you post, that you message, even through the messaging apps of social media, it gets consolidated and analyzed by sophisticated algorithms and then gets sold back to you. So this is what advertising, marketing, and ultimately propaganda comes to. Our own information gets digested, it gets attached to a product, and then gets sold back to us. So we are paying not only for the product, but we are paying for our image in the product. And this is a theme we're going to keep exploring, because I believe it's one of the most important aspects for critical thinking, is to understand how our environments are structured. So as much as I really wanted to talk about breathwork and the mindfulness, I've realized through the practice how much are we plugged in, and how some of the foundations of life have been silenced. And that's an opportunity for us to dive deeper. It's an opportunity to really develop that critical thinking. So when you come to the mat, when you breathe, when you go for meditation, when you go on your hormonal path, or if you go on your new creative exploration, or you're looking for a new job, you are aware of the environments that are shaping you, that are shaping your colleagues, and that are shaping the market. This last year, anybody that I talked to, there's one theme that kept coming up, and that's the edginess of people. I am honestly nowadays just grateful for somebody being kind. I was in a car accident, and my car was written off, and I have whiplash and some concussion. And very unfortunate, the person who caused this, or the person who it just happened to be the party that was involved, was extremely aggressive. And I've been sitting with it because I couldn't quite figure it out. And then slowly, by reflecting on the year, reflecting on people, reflecting on conversations, reflecting on what people have shared in class, privately, in our coaching sessions, is that a lot of people have become very edgy. And that is not the fault of the people, that's kind of our environment. We are in constant fear of something, either financially or relationship wise, or for our kids, or for our friendships, for our jobs, for the economy, for the world. And it keeps pounding and pounding and pounding. So we live in this bowl of stress. All of us. It doesn't matter your social status. You may have money, but something is missing here and something is gyrating, and we are constantly on to the next thing. And that is the environment. And our environment is shaped by the media. The media works together with the business, and they create a reality for us. So that's not necessarily the reality that exists within you, but it's the reality you exist within. So I thought, what a beautiful opportunity for you to reflect on the year, reflect on all the things that came externally and all the things that you're feeling internally. It's beautiful to use your breath, to use art, to use nature, to create those micro moments that I often talk about towards an off-grid mindset. We can exist off-grid in an urban environment because our environments are changing. We don't know how to desert the urban jungle, but what we can do this holiday season is to really have a conscious moment, being in the way you buy presents, in the way you celebrate, in the way you communicate with people, especially now in the last moments before going holiday shopping and going into the stores. Start practicing expanding your attention span. It's very, very important as we go into a new year, because there's so much social pressure into that new year not to run. You know, we squeeze in the last moments of the existing year, and then as January comes, we start sprinting. We start sprinting towards a new diet, towards more yoga, towards shaping up the body, getting a new job, earning more money, pushing this business plan, whatever it is. And I've noticed this is not the most beneficial way of moving forward for the body or the mind, because when do we have that time to creatively reflect? And when do you have time to think about what are my next steps? This is also a number one mistake I've noticed in business, including my own. And when we go to consultant businesses, is you've hit a level when you know you need to grow, but you haven't spent the time to write down your business plan, to write down your creative ideas, and you quite often want to outsource this to somebody else, being your accountant, your marketing person, your salesperson. You want to transfer that responsibility onto somebody else to bring you money, to bring you comfort. And I like to say, even in breath work, I don't heal you, you heal yourself, because everybody that is around us is just a channel of creative energy that we all exchange. Just think of social media. Social media is nothing else but a channel where we receive and send information. And I used to say that, I say that we used to plug in the computers and the phones and all these other things and use them when we needed them. What's happening now is that we are plugged into them. And I don't think that relationship is healthy. There's a little bit of a codependency that has become toxic. And these are things that I just want to push out there this holiday season. As you experience these beautiful moments with your family, are you present in the moment? Is your mind wandering somewhere else, trying to sprint already into the new year? The moments we have with our loved ones are so precious. Life is so fragile. We don't know who's going to be here tomorrow or what's going to happen. So we truly live moment to moment. And if you need to rest, rest. If you want to laugh, laugh. If you want to cry, cry. But don't funnel all of this through the devices. I find that we start identifying with that persona that exists online, and this is one of the biggest problems right now. Going back to that edginess, because we see a lot of our friends, we see a lot of our family or coworkers or people in our social circles posting something, and the mass media has created a very quick way of judging and discarding, like with the swiping left, right, up and down, scroll, press the X. All of these symbols and actions have kind of conditioned us to judge, to be quick, to not go deeper. All of these impersonal relationships that used to take time, it takes time to get to know somebody. It gets time somebody to open up to you. If you're not authentic, they're not going to open up, maybe even for a decade, maybe even more. So as we spend time on social media, as we get our information from television, from online sources, from your social media channels, start thinking about the people on the other side. Start comparing to what you feel when you post, and how unrealistic really that online public space is. On the flip side, our own public spaces have been burdened with branding and advertising. Just think of all the sports games that we see. It's like the logos are everywhere. This is our space. Think of the public space and how little space we actually have for ourselves and for our relationship without being interrupted by some type of media or advertising or business. So that's why I think the holidays are a perfect opportunity to really go back into that human sphere and focus on the people, focus on the relationship, come from kindness, come from love. And we're not going to make everyone happy, and sometimes people will disagree with us, and it still may not be personal, because something inside them, something in their environment has been triggering them and has been pushing them to the edge. So have compassion even when somebody is not on their kindness behavior. And let's have compassion for those that are less fortunate than us, and also those that have more fortune than us. Anything that comes out of you and is directed to other people always comes out from you. It lives inside. It's that gyrating feeling that keeps you on your edge, and you don't want that around the holidays. Around the holidays, we want to connect. And whatever holiday you're celebrating, dive deeper into the wisdom of it. The fact that all of these rituals and celebrations and fate has traveled through human history, through mythology, through paganism, through Christianity, through Islam, through Buddhism, whatever it is. If you're lighting a menorah, if you're praying to God, whatever it is that is speaking to you, and even if you don't have one of those, you're connected to your family. And even if you don't have that, you're connected to yourself. It's an opportunity to connect and be kind to yourself too. So think of the deeper wisdom in moments spent with loved ones. Think of the deeper wisdom that has traveled all the way from antiquity to here, all the way. We imagine people first transferred it orally, then they wrote it down, then there was a printing press, then we had a telegraph, a telephone, a television, mass media, and still these stories are coming to us today. So I find this fascinating. I find it fascinating that we have this wealth of knowledge, and at the same time we can still have faith in something bigger, in something positive, faith in a good day that's coming tomorrow, faith that there is hope for all of us. There is hope to get along, move forward without holding any bad feelings, because we all human, we all make mistakes. And the reality is that when our environments shape us, and they do shape us, they have been shaping us ever since fire came along. Because first people sat around the fire, they had their tribal things, up until modern days when in the surgery, the surgeon is focusing on their patients around the light. They can't perform a surgery without the light. So even the light is a medium that is shaping our environment. So just think of how much our cell phones, our smartphones rather, how much our television, how much all of this constant exchange of information has changed our lives. And then go back to humans and go back to see how much perhaps we're hurting of everything that has happened ever since COVID and during COVID. That was a big trauma on our society, and we haven't had a chance to stop and just evaluate and hug each other, because we were severed from each other. We were supposed to stay away. We spent Christmas and New Year's away. We couldn't even go and hug our loved ones. So this year, when there's no restrictions, go and be that, embody that kindness and connection. It's very hard when somebody has hurt us, or if our trust was betrayed. And I find the holidays such a beautiful time of the year to really, really let all of this go. Because in life, realistically, we have always, all of us, we have both roles. We've been a victim and we've been a perpetrator. And we have the opportunity to choose how to move forward. The most important thing is to forgive yourself. Maybe you said stuff that were not wise and they hurt somebody. Maybe you did something that hurt somebody. But remember that anybody that's out there, they're also trying to survive. And they're trying to survive based on their coping and survival mechanisms that were built from early childhood, even from the moment we were in our mom's wombs. So to judge a human being is a very heavy action, because you're not that being. You didn't live their life. So the holiday season, again, beautiful opportunity to be kind, to be forgiving, to consume less of the material and focus more on here. I really urge you in the new year, when I'm not a huge fan of intentions, but if you were to set one, let it be one of peace. Let it be one of pausing. And give yourself time. Give yourself time in January. There's a reason why we have winter. It's beautiful. I love winter. I love places with seasons. It's a natural way for the body to transition. And every transition takes time. Every transition takes time. People think, even after divorces, for example, that you cut the ties and you move on, but it takes time, because even on a cellular level, you've been with somebody for so long, and your mindset, and it takes time to shut this off. Or when you have a job and you're shifting to a new one, and it's a stress, and people don't realize it takes time. And we have to give opportunity for transition to move, because at some point you have the old and the new existing. So may January be that time for you, when you evaluate, when you take your time to plan, what do you want to do in the new year? What are the things that your heart is longing for? So this message, I really hope and wish that it's finding you in time when you're contemplating on these very important aspects of human existence. Because ultimately we all want love and peace. We all want to belong. We all want to have nourishing food and safe shelter above our heads. Because we're all human, ultimately. We're made from the same thing, And yet we have lost our ways. It's pretty obvious we've lost our ways. But when we say these general statements, that means that each one of us has lost a tiny bit of our way, and we just need to realign that way. And I have seen it over and over again that being kind to others, and it's not perfect, it can be 100% of the time, but as long as we catch ourselves, as long as we have that awareness, is really a path forward that has a chance for a better future for all of us. And spend less time on social media. It's a drain, and I know your business is there, I know your friends are there, I know there's so much happening, but if you take the time and energy and focus it on your real world things. People think of marketing, for example, that if they spend thousands of dollars into advertising and they're going to bring leads, but we're seeing the leads are not that qualified anymore. And we see that across all business, even some of the largest business coaches, some of the most prominent names in business have been sharing the past year how low the attendance is, how non-committal the leads are. And I've been doing marketing communications for 20 years, and I can tell you that any dollar spent on in-person engagement will return times more than your online advertising. You have to know that the algorithms are designed to keep people hooked to the devices, and that means business and it means consumers. So as you're planning your new year, I'm really encouraging you to focus on the in-person engagement. And you might be an open person that gets charged by that, or you actually feel that this is not your strength. Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean you can connect with one person, and that could still be a beautiful opportunity for you to flourish personally and business-wise, because it takes one person, one connection, one deal, one smile, one act of kindness to move the world. So please consider your mental health, consider your physical health, consider your time, your precious time on this earth, because right now we're exchanging our time and our information, our human information. For what? For what are we really exchanging it? So this is my message for you. Lots of things are coming in the new year. I'm very excited. My creative break has been, although interrupted by some stressors and car accidents and whatnot, it's been incredibly bountiful. Because, you know, when you work for so long and you accumulate, we all accumulate. At some point you have to sit down, organize it, so it comes out and it's really in service. So I'm very excited to share with you the things that are coming in the new year, and I have taken all of the feedback, all of the consideration from all of you, and I believe I have built something that